Today we are going to respond to a video claiming that Asians' economic and cultural success in America is a myth, and hence is only used as an excuse to dismiss systemic racism. Let's check it out.
America is so racist. Why are Asians the highest earners in America?
Do you know that Asian Americans face the highest poverty rates in New York City?
What she is saying is true, as the Asian American poverty rate in New York City is 26.6%. As shown in the HuffPo article, many of these poorer Asian communities are not proficient in English and are struggling because of it. According to a study done by Sharon Wang, Ezio Taki, and Arthur Sakamoto, most white adults are native-born, but most Asian adults are foreign-born, and Asian immigrants are less fluent in English than domestic Americans. In addition, they are less familiar with labour market practices and institutions, as well as have less social networks. So it is harder for them to navigate through the labour force, decreasing their earnings potential. None of these barriers are based on race, and would explain the higher Asian poverty rates in New York. In fact, since Asian Americans generally have a higher median income in spite of these factors, it is a testament to racial equality and hard work. Also, New York City is not representative of America. Keep these factors in mind for the rest of the video.
Chinatown restaurant and construction workers live here, in 64 square feet cubicles for $9 a day.
Here she is talking about 81 Bowery, where, surprise surprise, the Asian migrants there speak very little English and are undocumented, which leads to this suffering. This is the reason why people want immigrants to speak English, so they can live the best life possible in America.
1 in 4 elders live in poverty.
Now I have been getting contradictory figures for the elderly Asian poverty rate, where it is 12.7% in this article, but she may be referring to New York again, as links from 2 different articles talking about this led to the same source. Nevertheless, this is still higher than the average poverty rate of 9%, and is much higher for certain ethnic groups like Cambodians at over or near 20%. But this is explained by recent elder immigrants who have no savings or a social safety net, while other ethnic Asian elders had lower poverty rates because their ancestors immigrated in the late 1800s. Asian American elders also generally receive less social security benefits because they have worked less years as immigrants, and less fluency in English leads to less application for social security benefits. This explains the higher poverty rate for Asian elders, not racial discrimination.
Some collect 5-cent cans to make ends meet.
Yeah, this is just in California, and again, not necessarily representative of Asian American elders, and can again be explained by a lack of English fluency and immigration status.
So I have this piece of paper that cost me 1 penny. If you wanted to buy it, I would sell it to you for 1 penny because that is its market value. Okay. I labored to turn that piece of paper into this crane. Okay. If the market value of this crane is $1, that means my labor created 99 cents of value. My labor is therefore worth 99 cents.
That seems fair, but keep in mind that the quote-unquote market value is derived from the demand of your product from customers, which will be very important later on.
Would it be fair for someone else who didn't do any work to take 90 cents from me just because I happened to make this crane in their house? No, of course not. That would basically be stealing.
Depends. Did you need that house in order to increase the market value of your product or to make that product? For example, a customer may be more attracted to go to your burger business if you are in a large physical restaurant with a comfortable eating space. They may not buy your burger if you are selling it from the streets. Moreover, the owner's machinery and materials contributed to the market value of the product, significantly diminishing the product's labor value. You may say it is unfair for the owner to own the means of production, but the owner spent their own money on such useful means of production when they could have instead spent it on entertainment and consumer goods like the worker. The owner had denied themselves short-term satisfaction for a chance at long-term success.
Biden wants to tax the 0.01 percenters. That would bring in nearly $1 trillion into the federal government to pay for vital programs.
First off, the billionaire minimum income tax has been estimated by the Biden administration to raise $360 billion over the next decade, not roughly $1 trillion. She of course got that figure confused with Biden's entire 2023 budget being estimated to cut the deficit by $1 trillion over the next decade. So let's check that out. Biden's estimate of $1 trillion cut in the deficit reveals a major flaw in his plan, that it will make very little difference. The Biden administration has one more estimate, that the deficit will still grow by $14.4 million in the next decade. The deficit cut just refers to the debt growing at a smaller rate by $1 trillion. And this isn't mainly due to new stuff like Biden's climate agenda. It's Social Security and Medicaid, growing without intervention. Sure, discretionary spending, like defense, is projected to get $8.5 trillion, but they are dwarfed by estimates of $17.2 trillion for Social Security and $12 trillion for Medicare over the next decade. That is not to mention other programs like Medicaid. The US doesn't have a revenue problem, it has a spending problem. A bipartisan one at that. And that $1 trillion deficit cut? That is mainly because emergency pandemic relief and stimulus expires, as well as recovery from COVID, which would occur under Biden or the Republicans, so isn't exactly a unique achievement, even if it's a prediction. Back to Biden's billionaire tax.